Hey listeners, have you heard of a surprising event referred to as a kismet moment when fate, destiny, or maybe just a lucky coincidence seems to bring people or circumstances together? It describes a magical meant-to-be spark. In adoption, there are a ton of these kismet moments, and I want to hear them. An adoptee who found out her biological sister had lived down the street from her entire childhood. A family who called the agency to say they were done, and the agency called them back the next week with a baby born. A birth mom who chose a family out of hundreds, and when she told them the name she'd chosen for her baby, they'd already picked the same one. I'm collecting these kinds of moments for an upcoming episode of the Adoption Roadmap. The moments in adoption that feel less like luck and more like the universe had a plan all along. If you have a moment to share, press pause right now. Go ahead, press pause. Click on the link in the show notes and submit yours today. Now back to the show. You know what nobody warns you about before you sit down to make your adoption profile? That your camera roll is about to betray you in ways you didn't know were possible, and that you're about to discover exactly how few decent pictures of yourself actually exist on this earth. You'll open a folder of all your photos. You'll look at the first one. Nope. Next one. Nope. By photo 47, you've decided you should not be photographed by any device from any angle ever again. You start considering witness protection. Meanwhile, your partner walks by, glances over your shoulder, and goes, "That one's cute," and you want to divorce them on the spot. Welcome to step 2 of the Adoption Roadmap. I'm Rebecca Greenspan, and today we're breaking down the single most important tool in your entire adoption journey, your profile, and every single thing people don't tell you before you start. We're going to walk through it section by section, what every part of the book needs to do, what the pictures actually need to look like, what language to use, what language to burn, and a few little details that are going to make an expectant mom stop on your book instead of skipping to the next one. So grab your wine, your bourbon, your coffee, your tea or water, no judgment here, whatever time you're listening. But you may want to grab that new notebook and pen you bought just for your adoption journey, because you just might fill up all the pages with this one episode. Before we get into it, I do want to shout out Elle Borg, who gave us a 5-star rating and review. Thank you so much, Elle. She titled it so helpful and said, "Just getting started on our journey, and this podcast has been so informative. Definitely worth the listen. Rebecca is wonderful." Well, thank you so much, Elle, again. And if you are so inspired, these ratings and reviews mean so much to us, and they take about 20 seconds. So leave us one, and I might just read your name out on the next episode. Welcome to the Adoption Roadmap Podcast. Your dream is to become a parent. My dream is to help you get there. I'm Rebecca Greenspan, an adoptive mom who's guided over 500 families through the beauty and complexity of adoption. Through my work with families and professionals across the country, I've seen what actually moves people forward and what holds them back. Each week, I bring you practical advice, expert voices from all sides of adoption, and the positivity you need to navigate your journey with clarity, confidence, and trust. Let's get into it. So, what exactly is an adoption profile? Okay, let's talk about what it's not first. It's not a resume. It's also not a coffee table book. Some people like to think, oh, I can make the most beautiful book in the world, which is great. I'm sure you can, but that's not what an adoption profile is. It's also not your chance to prove to the universe that you deserve a baby. It is a window into your everyday life so an expectant mom can picture her child in your life. That's the whole job of an adoption profile. And here's the part you need to hear and you need to really take to heart. Are you listening? Stop what you're doing. The adoption profile is the only tool standing between you and the baby you hope to parent. 9 times out of 10, an expectant mom picks her family from the adoption profile book. So yeah, this matters a whole lot. The average profile is somewhere between 12 and 20 pages. That's it, 12 to 20 pages to tell somebody who you are, how you love, what your daily life looks like, and why her baby would grow up warm and safe and adored inside your life. It's not a lot of real estate, so every choice you make counts. Now, let me say something that's going to feel a little bit weird at first, okay? This is not about you. I know, rude. Take a breath. You're the one filling it out. You're the one in the photos. You're the one writing the captions, but the audience is an expectant mother going through the hardest decision of her life. So every photo, every sentence, every choice has to be filtered through her eyes, not yours. If you can hold on to that one idea, this whole process just got a lot easier for you. Okay, let's talk about the meltdown moment. We all have one. You will hit a wall. It might be the photos. It might be the text. It might be the feedback on your first draft when your designer says, the picture is too dark and you consider setting your laptop on fire. Don't set that laptop on fire. We are on your team, your consultant, your profile designer. We're on your team. So when someone who has designed thousands of adoption profiles tells you a photo isn't hitting, they're not being fussy. They've watched thousands of matches happen. They know what makes an expectant mom stop on a page. So do whatever you can to trust this process. Here's what I've noticed having done this for over 13 years. The families who go the extra mile at this step of your process, step number 2, the adoption profile, move through the rest of the process faster. Fewer revisions, less back and forth, and a quicker path to a match. So when you hit the I don't want to bother with this anymore moment, that's exactly the moment to push and go the extra mile. And trust me, you'll hit it. Go book a photo session. Take more pictures. Send in that second draft. This is not the step to not care. But what if I'm a designer? This section is for the DIY squad. So sit down and take a listen. If you're a graphic designer, or you work in marketing, or you're the friend everyone asks to make their wedding invitations because you slay in Canva, or you have a best friend who designs albums for a living, I love that for you, truly. Now, please take a seat and let the adoption profile pros do the profile. Here's why. Design and adoption design are 2 different sports. You can be great at one and completely clueless about the other. So I also own Our Chosen Child, and the people at Our Chosen Child are pulling from 15 years or more of watching what makes a birth mom stop, what makes her scroll past, what language triggers a hard no in the first 30 seconds. And that is not on any Canva tutorial. That's a discipline that they have learned over years and years and years of doing this. And here's a little side note. Our Chosen Child was founded by Joanna Ivy, who happens to be an adoptee and an adoptive mom and the author of The Essential Guide to Adoption Outreach. which I believe you can get on Amazon. So when I say the pros know what they're doing, I mean the people who literally built the field. This was her life's work before she retired and sold it to me. So do the smart thing. Let the designers, the profile designers design, and you focus on being the you they get to design around. Does that make sense? I've had graphic designers as clients, beautiful humans, talented humans. And they also realized their own skill set wasn't the one this job needed. That takes self-awareness. So be that person, be self-aware. I've also had clients insist, no, I can do it. And usually I'll say, go for it. I totally get it. And if things aren't happening within 6 to 9 months, will you agree to then listen to my way of doing it? And sure as shit, people were redoing their profiles 9 months later and then got chosen. So I've seen it all. So let's start with section 1 of your profile, which is the opening greeting. This is the first line of your book, your hello, your first impression before she ever reads a single word. It's not, hello, we are John and Jane, and we cannot wait to be parents. Please. No. Your opening should acknowledge that a real human being just picked up your book, that she is spending time getting to know you, and that you are grateful for that. A warm, human, but short greeting. Aim for around 100 words. Think of it as looking her in the eye and saying, hey, thanks for being here. Not, choose us. Nobody in the history of adoption profiles has been picked because they wrote choose us. Okay? Make it warm. Make it that beautiful smile, that warm embrace. It can be very simple, but make it come from the heart. Okay, after you write your initial greeting, and you'll probably get some ideas from whoever you're working with. I know at OCC, we give some examples of some words that they can use, but in your own words. So section 2, why adoption? And this could maybe be integrated into your greeting as well. This one should not be very long, but it's also loaded. Why did you decide to go the adoption route? And the answer isn't, we couldn't have biological kids, so we're adopting. I know that might be true. It might even be a big part of your story, but this isn't the sentence that gets you picked. You got to reframe it. The idea is not bad. You just have to reframe it a little bit. What did you learn from going through infertility? What did it teach you about what family means to you? What's the thing you now understand about parenthood that maybe you didn't understand before? Adoption can't be seen as a plan B on the page. Even if the timeline of your life made it feel that way, on the page, it has to feel like a chosen path, because from an expectant mom's point of view, if adoption feels like your consolation prize, her baby feels like your consolation prize, and that will get your book set down. Again, there are a lot of women who want to place with parents who have been struggling with infertility or loss. I'm not saying don't bring that up, but it has to be more than we can't have our own children biologically, so we chose adoption. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the next section, tell us about yourself. I'd say about 175 words. It feels like plenty, but it probably isn't. But you also don't want to get too verbose because your whole profile can't be all text. You got to leave a lot of room for pictures because she'll look at the pictures first. Most people fill this part in with a resume. I went to this college. I have this job. I like to travel. The version that works is the version that reads like you sat down next to her at a coffee shop and started telling her about your life. Specific details. Give your story some texture. The little quirks about you. The things your friends make fun of you for. Do you sing in your car? Say that. Do you cry every time you watch Coco? I literally just watched that movie. And there are parts that make you get teary. Are you that person? Say that. Do you have a running joke with your best friend that's lasted 20 years? Say that. Those are the things she'll remember. Not the broad, we love to travel and we have a lot of love to give. And every summer we go to the same lake in Wisconsin, which is fine. And you go fishing and all that. That's part of it, but add in those little details, those little funny things. That's what you want to share. All right. Then we have a fun facts section. These are fun little things that if you're working with a designer, they can kind of put in around your profile or have a fun facts page. This is also a great filler if you're having a hard time filling up some other sections. And it's just fun to read. Everybody loves reading fun facts. And it's a great connection point, right? She might connect to one or two or three of your fun facts, and that might be the very thing that gets you picked. So think your favorite food, your favorite holiday, your hobbies, your dream vacation, your morning routines, your weekend ritual, your favorite TV show, your favorite book, your favorite sports team. What song do you sing in karaoke? What kind of music do you love to listen to? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? That's a big one. Movie. There's a million things, right? And either it could be listed as a fun facts section or it can be sprinkled throughout your text. Pick the ones that actually reveal something about you, okay? Nobody's ever been picked because their favorite ice cream is vanilla. So sorry, you vanilla people. But you know what does hit? My favorite, mint chocolate chip. Every summer at our local ice cream place, Mitchell's, down the street, and we go every Friday night after dinner, no exceptions, and sit outside, and those details, that might get me picked. Or going to the Dairy Queen with my best friend or my husband or my son, whatever, and getting the swirl cone dipped in all the crunchies, that's my favorite. That might be a thing because that's your personality. That's an image. That's a mom going, yes, I want that for my kid. If your karaoke song is nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. Does anybody remember that song? That was one of the songs that I used to belt. I think probably in my dorm room. And that's your karaoke song that you commit to every single time. Put it down there because that's a whole vibe right there. So I think you can get the picture. Don't just say something vanilla. Say something with some sprinkles in it because that's what sticks. All right. If you are a couple, a married couple, a same-sex couple, I want to say if you're in a relationship but not married, you want to lean more towards single adoption and leave this part out because that's a whole thing too, which you can definitely message me about and I'm happy to answer. But you want to add in your love story, how you met. Not really long. Keep it to about 100 words, which is hard to do. How did you meet? When did you know? What is your relationship like? You don't want a full-length feature film. Keep it tight, keep it warm, keep it real, keep it detailed. Here are a couple things that might land. Talk about who you are together, not just how you met. Not just the wedding. Unless there's something really, really cute about the wedding, let's leave the wedding pictures out and the whole story about the wedding. But maybe if the engagement story is super cute and leading up to it, fine. Who cooks? Who's the loud one? Who's the calm one? Who's going to be the parent that swings the kid upside down until they laugh so hard they hiccup? When you met, what was it that one person said that made the other person think, oh my God, this person could be the one? Where did you go on your first date? That says a lot about you. And then what happened after that. I love the story I recently read of a couple who went out. I don't know where they went, but one got cold, and so the other gave them their coat to wear and never took it back on the end of the date because they knew they'd have to see him again to get that coat back. I remembered that. So she's not just picking you, she's picking your relationship, right? She's picking how her baby might show up with these people, and she wants a good feel about who you are. So show her what that is. Then there's typically a section that's about partner one, written by partner two, about partner two, written by partner one. So first you set your love story, and then you talk more about each other. This is one of my favorite parts of any profile. I love it because there's nothing like a person you love describing you to a stranger. It's so warm and disarming, and it shows chemistry in a way a wedding photo can't always show. So write about your partner the way you would describe them to your best friend. And hopefully you're smiling when you write this, because that shows through. What do they do that makes you crazy about them? What kind of parent are they going to be? What is the small thing they do every single day that shows you that they love you? Don't write the LinkedIn version. John is a great husband who works hard and loves our family. Okay, just show us how. How does he show love to your family? Okay, nobody cares about the boring high level version. They want the details. Write the version where you tell her that John still makes you laugh every day, that he sings loudly and off key in the shower, that he's the person you want your kid to grow up to be like. That's the sentence that gets you picked, because she'll feel that way too. Okay, you might need to write a section, thoughts on parenthood. All right, so in this section, you don't want to talk about what you think a good parent should be in theory, but what do you know about yourself that tells her what kind of parent you're going to be, based on how you actually live, based on a lot of your values. This might be a great place to tell a parent what you value in life. Maybe things about how you were raised that you really value that you want to continue. Maybe it's that you believe everybody should be treated equally, and because of that, it's important for you that your child goes to a diverse school and has friends from all different communities, whatever. Maybe you are the one who is going to build forts out of the couch cushions, but your partner is the one that's going to sit down and read. Maybe you're the one that's going to dress up in whatever costumes your child wants you to, but your partner is going to be the one who builds the set or builds the dollhouse or whatever it is. Let's bring adoption into this now. If you are the person who truly believes, and hopefully you do, that you want to raise your child with a really strong sense of identity, which means being honest and open with them about their adoption story from day one, you believe that your child can never have enough love and would love an open adoption relationship, whatever that looks like to you. That's part of parenting. Right? So some of those things could be in this section as well. So what type of parent you'll be, adoption and openness and identity and values. Those are some things that can go in this section. If you are thinking about adopting outside of your race, either weave this in or have a section on diversity. This is really important, and it's also really important, and we'll get to it when we start talking about pictures, to show that in your pictures. Very short, 75 words or less to answer this one question: how is diversity actually reflected in your life? If you live in a town where every neighbor looks like you, this is where you get real. Show your workplace, show your friendships, show your community, show your kids' school. Show the neighbors you actually love, because if a mom of a different race is placing her baby in your family, she needs proof that her baby will not be the only person of color in your entire world. Get honest with yourself before you write this section and show her what her baby's life would look like with you. And if you don't have that at all, and especially if you're not willing to make changes, please think twice about adopting outside your race. Next section, what you love to do. Now, I'm going through all these sections, and it might sound like a real lot. You have to ask your agency what they require. Some agencies have specific requirements about what goes into a profile and what doesn't, and some don't. So you want to get clear on that too. What you love to do. This is where a lot of profiles die, not because it's hard, but because people write, we love the outdoors, and then move on. Ma'am, sir, that is not a personality. What do you actually do? Every weekend, every Sunday, every Tuesday night, if we filmed you for a month, what would we see over and over again? Baking sourdough bread, restoring the '68 Camaro in the garage, watching every single Bengals game with your best friend, win or lose, making the same soup every fall Sunday because it's the one your mom made, reading in a hammock, growing tomatoes every single summer, Friday night game nights that can get super competitive. Those are the things she remembers. If your hobby is doing nothing and watching Housewives on Sunday nights, say that. That's specific. That's real. That's more interesting than we love the outdoors. What do you love about the outdoors? What do you do outdoors? Are you a skateboarder? Are you on the slopes every winter, every weekend, 3 times a week? Tell her that stuff. What do you do? Travel is also definitely a legit thing to put here, especially if you're a big-time traveler and you travel at least 3 times a year and one of them is international. Say that. These are the types of trips we go on. We always have a beach vacation. We always do an adventure vacation. We always have a historical vacation. Or we like to pick places to go based on the foods that we love because anywhere we go, we take a cooking class. Or I've been to 52 countries and I have 10 more on my bucket list. That tells her something about your life. Be specific. You definitely need a section on home and community. About 150 words. Where do you live and what it's like there? Again, the vibe, not just the real estate listing. I don't care how many bedrooms you have. I don't care about the open kitchen and living room. Are you the family whose front porch has a light on at all times because friends are always dropping by? Are you the family with the fenced backyard and the dog who thinks he owns the neighborhood? Are you the family that walks to the ice cream shop on Fridays in the summer? Are you the family who hosts barbecues at least once a month every summer? Are you the family that drinks coffee on their front porch swing every single morning that you can? You want her to close her eyes and see her baby in that space, on that porch, in that yard, on that walk. Give her enough detail that she can picture it. A feeling. It's also good to add in things like, we live in an area, and the more you can show it in detail, the better, where there are playgrounds in walking distance, where we live super close to the beach, or we live in the woods and love to go hiking. Things like that. Let them know there's a lot going on in our neighborhood. The community gets together for a parade every 4th of July, and we get really into it. That kind of thing. Tell us about your neighborhood. Extended family and friends, the people that are most important to you in your life. This is the family the baby will actually be joining. Not every single relative you have, the close ones. Think grandma and grandpa to this child. So your parents, your siblings, which is the aunt and uncle or first cousins, maybe a great grandparent. That's about it. Okay? And tell us who these people are. the aunt that's going to spoil the kid rotten, the uncle who does the annual cannonball contest at the pool, best friends of yours who are basically siblings. And you want to refer to your family as the child would. So use titles like Grandma Mary, Uncle Joe, Aunt Sarah, or if you're saying Nana, Nana Mary, Papa Joe. One tiny shift, and suddenly the whole book feels like this baby already has a place in it. And you never know if she had a Grandma Mary or a Papa Joe or whatever you call them. And tell us what they're known for, right? Are they going to be first-time grandparents? Or is this their 10th grandchild and this is what they're known for? Grandpa Joe always has candy in his pocket. Or Aunt Sarah always picks up the little kids and spins them around every time she sees them. Paint that picture. Who are they? If they're a nurse or if they're a teacher, you can put that in because that kind of shows some stability as far as, okay, there's people in their life that knows children really well and they have a lot of support when they might be struggling. These are the types of things she's looking for. She wants to know her baby's going to have people, a whole village. Show her the village. Okay, we got through pretty much all the meat. Now there's some extras. You probably don't have room for all of them, but either sprinkle them throughout other sections or pick 2 of them. So we have pets, different traditions, faith, values, whatever else. So pets, no more than a page, not the entire book about your golden doodle. I mean, my Akila is a queen and I have a million good pictures of her. Way better than me, but 1 page. Of course, there'll be other pictures where your dog is in the pictures. Great. I mean, not much written about who they are. You want to let them know that they're good with children. Hopefully they are. And just a couple sentences about them and their personality. Traditions. This is one of my favorite sections that I really think should be in all of them because traditions show the rhythm of a family for a whole year. What's this baby going to grow up looking forward to? Is it going to be matzo ball soup or is it going to be Christmas Eve tamales night? Or is it going to be Halloween costumes as a family, birthday cake recipe that's been passed on for 15 years? What are your traditions? They don't just have to be holidays. They could be daily traditions, monthly traditions, holiday traditions, birthday traditions. I love that section. Be specific. What are the cherished traditions? Faith. If it's central to your life, share it. Talk about what role religion plays for your family. But, and this is important, do not get preachy. The expectant mom reading your book may or may not share your faith. We want you to share it warmly, but keep the door open because nobody wants to feel judged before they've even called you, before they've even talked to you. You don't want her to judge you. So, unless you are super religious and that's how you live your everyday life and you need them to know that, then by all means. But as a rule of thumb, I would say dial it back a little bit, show them the essence of who you are and what your beliefs are, and we'll talk about values in a second. Stay away from words, God, Jesus. Praying for you is okay, but not all over the place just once. Just dial it back. And same with the pictures. You don't want it to be so in your face religious, but you can show some religious and faith traditions. Values, how you plan to raise your child, what you think about openness, which we covered at the beginning, how you'll honor their story. This is where you get to be clear about the kinds of parents you want to be. I think values can fit into the closing letter and also the part about parenting. Hey, real quick, if you're listening to this podcast because you're seriously considering adoption, you don't have to figure this out alone. At RG Adoption Consulting, my team and I guide hopeful families through every step of the adoption process using our proven 4-step roadmap. In 2025, 62% of our families brought their baby home within 12 months. If that sounds like something you're ready for, we'll help you figure out your next best steps. Book a complimentary adoption strategy session at rgadoptionconsulting.com. After you're done with all of that, then you need to tie it up with a beautiful little bow and a closing letter. Make it short, about the same as the opening letter, 125 words or less. This is your goodbye. This is your promises to her as a parent. Your one direct message to her. And don't say thank you for reading. I mean, you can say thank you. That's fine. But make it personal. And you don't want to make assumptions that you know how she's feeling. You know this is hard. You don't know unless you've sat in her shoes. You know this is a difficult decision. You don't know. You're making a selfless choice. Well, you don't know that either. Maybe she has no choice. So don't ever make assumptions and use words that tell her you've sat in her shoes before, if you haven't, okay? You could say something like, I can't imagine this is an easy decision for you. And you can say, here are our promises as a parent. I promise your baby will grow up knowing your story. I promise we will honor you always. I promise your baby will be loved every single day for the rest of their life. Even a little less vague than that. So you can talk about your promises to the mom, to her baby, your promises based on values. We will teach our child, and this is where you can use our child, we will teach our child that kindness, first and foremost, will take you far in life. We will instill in our child that generosity, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. You can also talk in terms of openness and be really specific. How open are you willing to be? Is it just letters and pictures? And you can say that. We promise to always send letters and photos to keep you updated on their growth. Or if you are open to visits, say it. And I always like to say, or whatever level you're comfortable with. If you don't mention openness at all, sometimes it can read as you're not open. Remember, whatever you write and whatever you say, never make the assumption that she has decided on you, because she hasn't. You can say something like, if you are considering adoption for your baby, instead of the choice you've made, because maybe she hasn't even made it yet. We also don't want to call her birth mother anywhere in the book, because she is not one yet. Until she signs relinquishment papers, she's an expectant mom. She's a pregnant woman weighing an enormous decision. Referring to her as a birth mother before she places her child is like sending a thank you note before you even got a present. If you are presumptuous, she's going to feel it. And we don't want her to feel that you're being presumptive. Words really matter, especially here at the end. These are the last words that you are leaving her with. All right. We just walked through all the different sections that you could possibly have in your profile. And it was a lot. Now, again, not every agency will want every single one of those sections. If you have a 20-page book, you can probably fit in all those sections. So your designer will work with you on that, or your agency will work with you on that. But that's the gist of all the stuff that you want to cover, all the sections. Okay, so now I want to go back and talk through some phrases, because language matters, that are going to bury you faster than a bad photo. I've seen every single one of these multiple times. So I just want to call them out. Some of them I called out already, but it's worth going over. So 1, we want to give a child a better life. Stop, delete. This tells the mom reading your book that she couldn't. She's going through the hardest thing of her life, and you just told her she's not good enough. Try again. Control, Alt, delete. We want to give a child a better life. No, thank you. No, thank you. Leave that one out. We want to give our child a sibling. Another problem. You just told her that the reason you want her baby is to serve the child you already have. Let's reframe that. Instead, talk about the family that's growing, the love that's expanding, not the role you need her baby to fill. This is so easy to do and very well-meaning. But be careful of your words and how they might be received. So reframe. Don't say we want to give our child a sibling. You are growing your family. It's what you dreamed of. Your love is expanding. This baby isn't filling a role. Here's another phrase. We talked about this. I know how hard this is for you. No, you don't, right? Nobody who has not placed a child knows how hard this is. Acknowledge that you can't even claim to understand what she's going through. That's an acknowledgement you can make, but don't ever use the words, I know. Here's another one that is sometimes a little harder to understand. You're so strong, you're so brave. And I alluded to this before, but she might not be feeling strong or brave. She might feel scared and pressured and heartbroken. So don't tell her how to feel. Meet her where she is, right? That goes back to assumptions. You are assuming she is a really strong woman and making this decision because she thinks it's the best thing for her child, but it's so hard for her and she wishes she could parent. Maybe so, but maybe not. We don't know what the situation is. So try to limit words that might make her feel a way that she's not. Never use the words giving up your baby. And this is one post-adoption too that you might want to correct people on if they use that, especially in front of your child who was adopted. Giving up your baby. Nobody is giving anything up. She's making an adoption plan. She's placing her child. And the words you use in this book are words your child may one day read out loud too. So choose them like you know that, okay? She is not giving up. She is making a plan. She is placing her child. She is thinking about adoption, but she's not giving up. Here's one I love. Comparing parenthood to having pets. Our fur babies prepared us for parenthood. Or even just saying these are our fur babies, or we are mom and dad to our pets. All right. This one stings a little bit because we all love our dogs and our animals, but we don't want to compare our dog to a human child, and it could be taken that way. We just don't want to compare our animals to a human child. We can rescue our animals. We can love our animals. They can be part of our family. You can call them your fur baby to your friends, but leave those words out of this book because it can be taken the wrong way. That's a little bit of a hard one, but better safe than sorry. And then we talked about this earlier, infertility grief. It's a part of your story and you can name it in one sentence. You don't have to make it a huge focus. She has her own crisis and she doesn't have the bandwidth for yours. So you can acknowledge, you can tell her what you learned from it, and then move forward. Show her what you built after, not what broke you before. And one more thing, don't write anything that assumes she has made her decision. I said this earlier because she hasn't. It's worth repeating. Many expectant moms who read profiles don't even end up placing for reals. And that's her right. So your book has to be really respectful of the fact that she is still deciding. Every single word we use matters. All right, enough about words and text and language. Let's get into the photos. Buckle up, folks. This is another long section. Here's the deal. Eyes are our connection point. If she can't see your eyes, she can't feel. She can't see your warmth. She can't see your personality. If you are watching this, I am now closing my eyes as I speak, which is really uncomfortable. Or if I'm like this, get that tattooed on your arm before you sit down with your photo folder. You don't want squints outside in the sun. You don't want sunglasses in every picture because then I can't see your eyes. You want warmth. You want smiling eyes. Every profile is going to move through the same photo categories, right? I just went through all the sections and pretty much they all have the same sections. Okay, so let's walk through what each one needs to do. You need like your hero photos, your cover photos. You're going to need about 3 to 7 of these. These are the showstoppers, the photos your designer are going to use on the front cover is that first handshake or a big feature moment inside the book. You want those to be, and you want all your photos to really be bright and sharp and recent and unmistakably you and your eyes open and not squinting and a warm embrace. Outdoor natural light or great lighting indoors. Candid laughter, direct eye contact, warmth, brightness, spring or summer are the best seasons for pictures on your covers, for your main pictures. Your main picture should not have sunglasses, hats that hide your face. They should not be formal studio shoots where you're posing so nicely. It shouldn't be a really cloudy day or fall or winter or really dark unless the photo is really amazing. You don't want a lot of heavy clothes on or coats. You don't want heavy filters. You don't want group photos. You don't want squinty eyes. And make sure you're not mid-blink. Okay? I shouldn't have to say that. I know. Pets can be in these photos if they're not front and center, the main part of the photo. And if you have kids already, mix in some with kids and some without, and then we can make that decision. It's hard on a cover photo to decide, should we have the whole family if we have kids or should we not? Because sometimes if a mom says, oh, I want a family with no kids, and she sees you with kids, she's going to just pass by your photo album, your profile book. Sometimes she says she doesn't want kids, but then sees a profile of a couple she really likes and connects with on the cover, and she looks through your book and falls in love with everything about you, and she thought she didn't want kids in the family, but suddenly she's like, well, maybe I do. I've seen that happen a lot. So kids, no kids on the front cover, there's an argument either way. The cover photo is the single most important photo in your entire book. That's the picture that decides if she's going to open that book at all. So choose it like your life depends on it. And your designer might choose among some really good pictures because your family kind of does depend on it. Okay, then you want about 3 pictures per person. So if you're in a couple, you want solo pictures, about 2 to 3 solo pictures per person. Maybe only one will be used, but you want to give some options. Every person in the book gets a solo shot. This is the here I am, this is me moment. You, great lighting, a neutral background, looking straight into the camera, real smile, teeth, eyes, warmth, the whole thing, kind of like the cover photo, but just you. This is your money shot, okay? And this could be a professional shot, but don't make it so uptight. Using a professional photographer for those shots are good. Like if you've had professional shots done previously for work or whatever, those could usually be used for this. And then if you are a couple, the 2 of you together. Obviously, if you're a single woman or a single guy adopting, you want a lot of solo pictures that are great, showing all sorts of different personalities, the multiple personalities of you. The expectant mom wants to see how you guys are with each other, okay? Not your wedding album. Please. If you're doing any wedding pictures, narrow it down to 1. She wants real life. the way you'd see yourselves on any given Saturday, okay? Laughing together on a hike, cooking dinner together, on the couch with the dog, dressed up for a friend's wedding, a kitchen dance party, whatever. Personality. Again, no formal studio sessions, not only special occasion photos. You want different outfits. You don't want to look stiff or posed. You want to look every day. Variety is your friend. Mix a couple of us being us moments alongside the dressed up ones if you're going to put some of those in. The book should feel like a Saturday and not a Christmas card. Okay, going back to more of you. So you have your kind of money shots of just you. Now you want a little bit more personality shots, okay? And this is where you can go deeper, especially if you're single. It's got to be you in your element, you with your people, you out in your life. Show her you have a full, connected, joyful life and that a baby is joining something that's already whole. This is really important if you're single. The number one worry an expectant mom has about a single parent is that the child will be lonely or that the parent will. So your photos have to answer both. You have community, you have joy, you have a wide, deep circle. And you have hobbies, right? If you love doing yoga, get one of you doing yoga. And this goes for if you're a couple or single. Getting pictures of you doing the things you love. And ask your friends. Your friends might have pictures of you, your family. Ask them. Your home, inside and outside, about 2 to 4 photos. Not every one of them will be used, but if you can gather those, we can pick the good ones. Show her where her baby would actually live, inside and outside. You want at least one photo of the front of your house and at least one of your backyard if you have one, and preferably some inside shots as well. You can have other people in these shots, without people. So great shots are like in your kitchen, in your living room, maybe the future nursery if it's done, and you don't have to have it done. Your porch, the spaces a kid would actually be in. Outside, a great picture is at your front door, maybe with the door open a little bit. It's very welcoming. Your porch is a great photo. Your yard, your garden, your driveway view, anything that says, this is home. Bright lighting, tidy but lived in. And I want to say that again. I don't want to see perfection unless that's really, truly how you live. If your house is always spotless and everything is clean and neat and nothing's out by, okay, I'm a little concerned, but okay, there are people like that, but most people aren't. There's stuff on the floor. There's shit on the table. Show that. That's totally fine. That's life. Wide shots are great. Show your real everyday life. A dog bed on the floor is fine. A wreath on the door is great. Don't have pictures with dim lighting that hides everything. Don't have pictures of close-ups of your decor, right? If you're a painter, I don't want just a picture of your painting, actually. Empty rooms are boring, especially if they look staged. If you're going to do one of the nursery, that might be the one exception, but maybe put your pet in there or have one of you in there sitting on the rocking chair or something. This is not a Zillow listing, okay? And you don't need to clean. Tidy is good. Lived in is better. Welcoming is the goal. 2 to 4 of your neighborhood and community. We want a glimpse of your neighborhood, your street, the park you walk to, the coffee shop on the corner, the school down the road, the pool that you go to, outdoor sunny shots, places you actually go, the farmer's market, real local spots that you go to, not stock photo, not Google Earth screenshots. And I adopted my son 15 years ago, and I did use some of those. But gone are the days. Don't do any generic city skyline shots, places you visit once a year. But if you have some pictures with the skyline in the background and you're on the beach in Chicago, wonderful. Those are great. We just want to get a sense of your community and where you live. Then we have your people, your extended family, your close friends, and this we want anywhere from like 5 to 8 photos. Show the family that will actually be in your baby's life a lot, not just once a year, but for big moments, who's going to be in your life? Unless you have some amazing group family shots where it's like from a reunion or something. Some of those are sometimes really fun because then you can see all ages, and if your family's diverse or whatever, sometimes those are fun. Try to pick the most fun pictures, not just posy pictures, but with some personality. You definitely want to show the child's grandparents, siblings, cousins, aunts and uncles, and any really close friends who are basically family. Again, not every relative you've ever had, just the close ones, the ones that your kids are going to know by name. Okay, so holiday gatherings, those always make great shots. The cousin sleepover, parties with your friends all over, just looking fun. You don't want a 200-person picture with every relative you have ever had in your life, and you don't want any post-studio portraits, okay? She just wants to see your village. That's the whole point. What you love to do, hobbies, again, 5 to 8, 3 to 8, somewhere around there. Photos of you doing the things that make you you. We covered this a little bit with your solo shots, and they can be solo, they can be together, hiking, biking, playing music, gardening, woodworking, watching games, restoring old cars, knitting, yoga, sports, whatever it is. Action shots are great. Doing something mid-activity, great. Looking like yourself, all sweaty after a run, great. Not posed, okay? And not of you holding something that you love. Look, I love to golf. Here's my golf club. Photos that actually show you in activity. And if it's something that your kid will be doing with you someday, include it for sure. You with kids in your life, up to 3, if you don't have children of your own. Nieces, nephews, friends' kids, neighbors' kids, godchildren. It's optional, but I think it's really encouraged and good because it shows an expectant mom what you might look like with her child. It helps her envision that. If you have pictures playing with kids on the floor, reading together, building forts, laughing together, doing an art project, or just being messy together. Again, no posed portraits, or if the kids just don't look like they're having fun. Or if you look really uncomfortable holding a baby, don't include it. But if you look pretty natural and you think it's really cute, it could be a really good photo. If you don't have kids in your life to photograph, just skip it. Don't fake it. But if you do, it could be really great. And if you have children, definitely include your children. Anywhere from about 3 to 7 pictures of your children. Show her the parents you already are. The way you play with your child, the way you read at bedtime, the way you snuggle after school. She wants to see the parent she's choosing. Also get some solo pictures of your child or children because that could be good too. If you have kids you have already adopted, show the relationships between them, between you and them. Don't over-explain in the book. It's not the place. Just show what family looks like in your book. You don't want to tell their whole story, but you do want to mention that her child will have something in common with your other children or somebody else in the family who was adopted. If you have an open relationship, you might want to say that. So mention it, don't make it a whole story. Up to 3 pictures of your pets, not 30. I get it. But up to 3. And that's really it. Unless it's naturally in other pictures, I wouldn't have every photo with your pets in it. And those could be formal pictures or just laying around. Doesn't matter. Adventures and travel. If this is big in your life, up to 5 of those. So show vacations, concerts, big events, the camping trip you take every summer. You want to show her the rhythm and fun of your life beyond the everyday. Again, action shots, real adventures, things you actually do. You guys at a concert, these are always great shots. But what I have noticed a lot is sometimes travel shots are from really far away and you're teeny, but the beautiful mountain is huge behind you. Don't use those. Skip it if it's not a really good close-up, clear, non-pixelated picture. Holidays and traditions. And we talked about this a little bit too. You want to definitely include some of these if they matter in your life, up to 5 of them. This is one of my favorite things. Any holiday gatherings, recurring rituals, big or small, they show her what this baby would grow up looking forward to, right? Traditions specific to your family, right? I mentioned tamale making on Christmas Eve, matching pajamas on Christmas, matzo ball soup at Passover, Halloween costumes that took 9 months to plan. Those are way more fun than just generic in front of the tree photos. If it's just a photo of your tree, that's every family. What's your story? So that's pretty much the pictures. I want to talk a little bit about the types of pictures. Here's what we don't want in your book ever. I don't care if this is the favorite picture you have of yourself. We're not putting it in your book, okay? No sunglasses on the cover. 0% of the time. Sunglasses hide your eyes. Your eyes are the connection point. You can have a couple sunglasses photos throughout the book. That's not the point, but not on the cover or your main pictures. Also hats that shade your face for the same reason. Selfies, unless they're really good. And some are really good, most are not. They tend to be lower quality, okay? Because the rear of the camera is worse and the lighting is not as good. And half the time you amputate your own head, but 1 or 2 are fine for personality as long as they're really good ones. Wedding pictures we talked about. I'm not going to talk about it again. Alcohol, no alcohol. Almost every agency will make you cut it out. Some will let you have a glass of wine if you're in Napa doing a wine tasting. Okay, maybe, or maybe a beer at a barbecue. Make sure it's okay with your agency though if you're going to use it. And if you can just let it go, let it go. It's not worth it. No identifying information. Don't put your last names on the fridge magnet in the background. Don't put your street address on your mailbox in the cover shot or any shot. Your workplace logo on a photo, the name of your family on a t-shirt at your family reunion. Your book is going to strangers, so keep identifying information out of it. Okay, this one I have seen, and I've had to just ask myself why. Some are okay, but some are not. So let's just leave them all out. Bathing suit photos. Unless you are actually in water. Okay? If you are in a pool with your niece, holding her and playing with her, fine. If you are sitting by the pool with a cocktail in your hand or just a fruity virgin drink with your abs out there for everybody to see, no thank you. No, this is not the place. Bathing suit photos in water only, not outside the water. Old photos of you as a kid, cute, we don't care. Not what we're doing here. She wants to see who you are now, not who you were in 1993. So save the throwback photos for your kids' baby book someday, not for the adoption profile. Too many profiles in the same outfit. This one drives designers crazy, and it's so boring to look at. If every candid of you is in the same sweater, that whole section reads like it was taken in a single afternoon, which, let's be honest, it probably was. But change your clothes. Take a break. Come back. Take more. If you're going for a photo shoot, which you might very well be doing, bring 5 outfits to change into. We talked about squinty eyes. Okay, cloudy skies where you can't see your face, weird angles, mid-blink, anything where the picture doesn't help your face be seen and connected and her feel closer to you. If you're unsure whether a photo makes the cut, feel free to send it. Let your designer decide. That's fine. That's the whole point of having one. But please try to make sure we're seeing you and it all feels right. And a couple of technical things that will save everyone a lot of time. Photos need to be at least 1 megabyte. Anything smaller, screenshots, texted photos that weren't the original, social media saves, they're not going to print clean. Anything you pull off Instagram or Facebook has been compressed already. So it's going to look like a smudge on a printed page. You have to have the original photo that you took. Even if it's on your iPhone, that photo might be totally fine. But once you text it or receive it from a text, it won't be. So you want to upload your original photos, not the version that somebody texted you, not the version you saved off Facebook, the original. If it lives on your phone, you can airdrop it to your computer instead of screenshotting it. If your photographer took it, ask for the high-res files. Photos should be recent, the last 2 or 3 years. The expectant mom wants to see who you are now, not who you were a decade ago, not who you were 100 pounds lighter. If you have a whole different haircut and a totally different house and you have different dogs than 5 years ago, that photo doesn't belong in the book. Now, if you're someone like me whose hair changes every month, then fine, talk about that. You're going to see pictures of me with different hairstyles throughout the book. That's because I like to change it up. And that's truly who I am. And you never know what you're going to get. All right, that's it. Those are the rules. Follow them and your designer is going to love you. And then let's talk a little bit about style and color palette. Okay, so now your text is done, your photos are uploaded, and now you get to pick a style and a color palette. This is the fun part. This is where the book gets personality, even more personality. It brings all of it together. Don't overthink it. Look at the options. Pick the one that you like. Pick the one that feels like you. If you're a warm and cozy family, pick the warm and cozy palette. If you're a bright and modern family, go bright and modern. The style and the color are the frame. The photos and texts are the picture of who you are. Frames are not the point. Don't agonize over it. It just makes the whole thing look pretty, but it's not what she's focusing on. And if you're torn between two, just say, this is my first choice, but if it doesn't look right, here's my second choice. Your designer will help you. Okay, your profile is done. Congratulations. I just want to really quickly touch on video. I would say get a video. The industry is moving to video fast, and some agencies are pushing it. Expectant moms are picking families more and more with video over families who don't have it. And usually when she's torn between two families and one has a video and one doesn't, 9 times out of 10, she's going to pick the one with the video. It might be worth it. 15 years ago, we barely talked about video, and today some agencies require it. That's a big shift. So don't hesitate to get a video. They're not going to be long. It's easy. Sometimes it's just a matter of capturing some everyday videos and giving it to your videographer. I know at OCC we have somebody who puts together videos. You send her little reels or snapshots of every day, and she puts them together nicely with some pictures, and voila, you have a 3-minute video. What we don't want you to do is sit stiffly on a couch reading from notes, a little bit like I'm doing right now, reading from notes. But we don't want you really stiff, like you have no personality. It's really uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable sitting and talking from a couch for the beginning or end, then don't sit on a couch unless you can be super yourself on the couch. Talk while you're walking. Talk while you're standing. Talk while you're in the kitchen. Make it interesting. You want to send over real clips from your everyday life, a walk, dinner, going out with the dog, the garden, voiceover with some music, a few still shots, all cut together with these video clips, and it's beautiful. It enhances your profile. It brings your profile to life, like, oh, this is what they look like when they actually move, and this is what they sound like. It really helps. Just prop your phone up in the kitchen while you're making coffee. You can prop your phone up anywhere or hand it to a friend and just say, hey, just take a clip of us taking a walk. It's so easy these days, and we all take video clips. So put them to good use. Do it. When your designers send you the first draft, here's how not to drive them crazy, okay? Be specific. Can you make it pop more? Is not feedback. Tell them what you actually want. A different font, a different color, photo on the left instead of the right. Use your words. Seriously, though, Show a reference if you have one. Be specific because we cannot read your mind. So if you are about to hit send and you said, can you make it pop more? If you were receiving that, would you know what exactly that means? And if you're like, well, I would, but I'm not sure, then describe it. Do not tell them to use their professional opinion because then you're going to hate what they send. And they already used their professional opinion. That was the draft you got. So go page by page, use whatever editing tool you're given. If they have one, I know we do. If you want to swap out photos, do that. If you want to change colors, change designs, do it. But don't be a jerk. Also, don't be so worried about hurting feelings that you approve a book that you don't love, right? Give us courteous feedback that we can use. Your designer is professional. They want you to be the happiest you can be with this profile because this is the one thing, like I said, it's the one tool that stands between you and a baby. So you have to be happy with it, okay? They can handle the feedback. What they can't handle is you approving the book, getting it printed, and then telling everyone that you never liked it. And if you're working with a consultant, share that draft with them too. Get a second set of adoption-trained eyes before you approve. Your designer knows design, and your consultant knows what a birth mom is looking for. You want both. And hopefully at OCC and other design companies, they also know both, but you want to get opinions. And if you want your agency to see it before it goes to final proof, please do that. This is the time. Expect edits. Almost every book has edits. That doesn't mean anything's wrong. That's part of the process, and it's called a draft for a reason. So get the edits, be clear, and yeah, that's the process. If you're doing an independent match, meaning you're using your own materials to try to match on your own. A lot of people do it and it works. I think it's really difficult, but it works. Use social media, a website, word of mouth. Your profile assets matter even more if you're trying to do this without a team behind you because you are the team. So you need real tools. I would absolutely get a video. I would absolutely have a landing page, a social posting system or a rhythm that you consistently follow. I know at OCC, and I keep mentioning it because it's the only one I know, we have a social media plan and post program that you can get. It gives you 6 months of ready to go adoption specific content. It's designed for social. It's easy to personalize. In fact, I'm just going to do a shout out. If you use the code ROADMAP at ourchosenchild.com for the plan and post program, you can get $100 off. And I will link that in the show notes. But independent matching does work for some people. It is a lot harder. It takes a lot more of you, but when your assets are really good and you show up consistently, it can absolutely happen. But just do everything that you can do to make yourself really shine. I want you to hear a couple things before we wrap up. 1, get your home study and your profile done at roughly the same time. Your home study is only good for a year, so you don't want it expiring before you have a profile book to send with it. Timing them together is actually the smartest play for you. 2, don't skimp on this step. This is not where you save money. This is not where you cut corners. This is the single most important tool of your entire adoption journey, so spend the money and take the time. 3, get feedback from more than one person. Your designer, your consultant, a trusted friend, a family member. Not so many people that you get paralyzed, but 2 or 3 sets of eyes who are going to tell you the truth. 4, do not try to be what you think an expectant mom wants. She wants you. If you fake it in the book and then she calls you and you're a completely different person, you just wasted her time and yours. Be the actual you. Trust that someone out there is a woman who is looking for exactly your kind of family, because there is. 5, this part is going to take longer than you think. Every family thinks they can knock out the profile in a weekend. It doesn't work like that. Give yourself the time and do it right. And last thing, if you're staring at a photo of folders right now and you want to torch the whole thing, I see you. This part is uncomfortable, it's vulnerable, it's tedious, and it's sometimes maddening. But it's also the doorway. Every family we have ever helped adopt a baby had this exact moment. They wanted to quit. They didn't. They pushed through, they got the book done, and now they have their child. And you will too, my friend. Trust the process, trust your team, and send in the picture, even if you don't love your smile, especially if you don't love your smile. If you're at the start of your journey and you're trying to figure out whether a consultant is the right call for your family, book a complimentary adoption strategy session with my team. Link will be in the show notes, and we'll tell you straight whether it's a fit and what we would recommend either way. Follow the Adoption Roadmap wherever you get your podcasts, and find me on Instagram at The Adoption Roadmap for tips, education, held space, and joyful celebration. And if you loved this episode, leave a rating and review. You might just hear your name at the top of a future show. Adoption is not just a destination, it's a journey filled with love, resilience, and growth. Wherever you are on this roadmap, trust in your path. Stay open to learning and always lead with your heart. You already have everything you need to create a beautiful story for your family. And when the road takes unexpected detours, I'm here to help you navigate every turn along the adoption roadmap. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this episode gave you something to think about, or better yet, something to take action on. If you have questions about anything we talked about today, or if there's a topic you'd love to hear on the show, please shoot me an email at support@rgadoptionconsulting.com. I read every single email. And don't forget, you can find all the resources from today's episode in the show notes, including links to connect with me and take the next step in your adoption journey. If you haven't already yet, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a 5-star review. It helps more than you know. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Bye-bye.